Really not what I wanted to return to.
So there's some good and bad news at the moment. The good news is I can finally trust Dan again, and the bad news is that we've got to rebuild the shelter. A lot of the old stuff is useful, some of the old stuff is not useful, but I think we can get it done. So is this group still good? Yep. Yeah, I think so. Cool. I'm glad we came to the agreement to vote out Sue. It definitely was the smartest option. It gives us the majority over Carol and Chase if the unfortunate case is that we have to go back to tribal. And honestly, I'm definitely making it to the merge at this point. See, I don't know about Ken. What do you mean? Well, he's a very dangerous player, like he's strategic, and honestly, we don't really need him. And yeah, I see that, but it wouldn't be the worst thing to have extra numbers. I mean, to be honest, if we do go to tribal, it might be smart to get rid of either Carol and Chase, because then we can, with the merge, just get rid of the original Tulutu tribe. But at the same time, we should still consider voting them out. Alright. So I'm at the point of the game where I know I'm making it to the merge. So my goal is to decide who I want to see in the merge. That brings up a good point that King could be used as an extra number, but I still see him as a big threat. So if I want to, I could just get rid of him. You know, I have numbers on my side. I'm sure Carol and Jace know that they're on the bottom if they don't work with us, and you know, at the moment I'm sitting pretty. Well, we're in a bit of trouble. I mean, yeah, we survived last night's tribal, but all three of those boys are kind of in agreement. Our one goal is to try and find a split and see if we can split them up. Yeah, we're going to give it everything. Really, not a good point in the game for me. I might be in a bit of danger, although I think Chase is more of a threat than me, so if worse comes to worse, I get to hide behind them hopefully, so I'm feeling quite confident, but if it will be a loss to me if Chase does go home, so I need to give it everything, and hopefully I can sway one of them. So, Ken, we need to talk game sense. What do you mean? Well, I think me and you are very, very big players at the moment, and if we don't work together, they could pick us off. See what you mean? You want me to flip them Daryl and Dan, don't you? I mean, yeah, but it would be for a good cause. I mean, two very powerful and rational people working together, that could be unstoppable. I see your point, and you know, I understand it. I think that might be smart. My plan to get them to flip is simple. Appeal to what they want to hear, so I think Ken wants an ally to work with. That's just me, that's what I think, and if he's smart, he won't work with me, because I know if I take him to the end, he's going to be tough to beat, and he knows, if he's smart enough, that if he takes me to the end, I'm going to be tough to beat for him, so hopefully he buys it, but I'm not counting on it. Hey boys. Oh, hey Carol. What do you want? Well, what's your opinion on Ken? I mean, if you want my honest opinion, I think he's a very dangerous player. But why do you ask? Well, the truth is he's kind of like, he's thinking of flipping to come to our side, and I think it'd be smart if you two flip as well. What? Yeah, this is news to my ears. Continue? So he came up to us and said, hey, I don't really trust Dan and Daryl. I want to work with you two, and if we are to lose, maybe we get rid of one of them. Okay. Well, if that's the case and we don't mind flipping to get rid of him, well, we're in a position in the game where I'm not surprised if Ken was to do something like this. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if he thinks of me and Daryl as a big threat, and he thinks we need to get taken out before the merge. But do I trust Carol? She's not a dumb lady. I mean, like, she's a science teacher, so you have to be smart to be a science teacher, and, you know, she could be lying to me, but at the same time, how do I know that Ken isn't willing to get rid of us? It's kind of a battle of who do I believe more, and I don't fully trust both of them. I don't like to lie, but man, did that feel good. You know, this is Survivor. You've got to play a little bit differently. I mean, sometimes lines don't work, but if it pulls off, you're a genius. If it doesn't, you're a dud. So there's a lot of risk involved with what I'm doing. Hey. What? Wanna have a quick conversation? Sure. So, merge is coming up in the next 3 days. That's pretty exciting. I mean, yeah, I guess so. What is it you really wanted to talk about? Well, we had a conversation a few days ago, but like I feel like we didn't really get off to the same path. Like I'm poor. I own a business. What about you? You're obviously a barista, but like how's that? You didn't come out here to just talk about social life. You came out here to talk strategy. What do you want? Okay, the truth is that you can't trust Natalie. Why not? She's very persuasive, manipulative. She lies a lot. She's basically just just a villain, you know? That's interesting. I haven't heard that. Yeah, so I think you're better off working with me. Katie can come along as well, Chris as well. We'll just get rid of her. She's too dangerous to have at the merge. Is Natalie a villain? Maybe. I don't really know. But that's beside the point. If I can convince Grace that she is a villain and sway her onto my side alongside Katie and Chris, then I'm in a much better place than I was. I don't really know who went home from that side. If it's Sue, I'm in a really bad spot. But at the moment, I just need to throw my dice, play the hand I've been dealt, and hope for the best. Hey Grace, you alright? Oh, hey Natalie. Just a lot of thoughts going through my mind. We haven't had a good chance to introduce each other. Don't mind if I sit by you? Sure. So how's the game been going for you? It's been alright. I've had a few connections. I've just got a lot of stuff going through my head right now. You know, Paul's been talking to me a lot. Don't trust Paul. Why? Well, in the first tribal council that we attended, he was part of an alliance beforehand, and then I managed to get him to flip, right? And that's an immediate red flag, right? And then all of a sudden he flips again at the next tribal council we go to. Yeah, that's just not smart. I know, but I think it's important that we just forget about that, and you should just stick with me and Owen. He's just not a very trustworthy person. That's all I'm saying. He said you were a villain. I'm a police officer. I'm like not a villain. You can trust me. Alright, well, there's a lot going through my mind, so I really don't know what to think. That's fine, I completely understand that. Well, that was interesting. I was told something completely different from two completely different people who are after each other's throat, which is honestly perfect. This is where I want to be. Like, I want to be in the middle, but Katie seems to be really going for Paul's side, which worries me. And I see Chris and Owen getting along, so Chris is probably going to go with Natalie and Owen. So if I go with Paul and I'm trying to vote, if I'm going with Natalie, then it kind of seems simple that Paul goes out. But I don't really know if Chris is really with Owen, you know? They might just be friends. There's a lot going through my mind right now, but this is perfect. I'm in the place I really want to be. Paul just kind of ruined my game right there. I was in a very good place. All I had to do was get Grace, or Chris, or Katie, or two people to flip, and voila, I'm in the game. I get rid of Paul. But Paul goes up to Grace and says, I'm untrustworthy, and then I have to go up to Grace and tell her that Paul's untrustworthy. Now she's not going to know what to think, because that just makes things difficult and unpredictable. I already know that Katie's going to work with Paul because they've been talking a lot, so it seems pretty useless going after her, so Chris is my best shot at the moment. And so that was my hardest day at work. Man, they ought to give you a medal for that. I know, the guy was just being a complete jerk. Like, he obviously stole a bag of chips, and he threw some punches and stuff, and I've never seen somebody get so defensive over a bag of chips in my life. Crazy. There's some crazy people out there. Hey, I'm in an alliance with Natalie, you know, and we kind of need like a third number, you know, because we want to get rid of Paul. Do you mind like being that third number? Yeah, I'm fine with that. Sure. Owen is crazy persuasive. Like, I don't think he's intending to do it, but, you know, I just met the guy 3 days ago, and all of a sudden, I've entered an alliance with him. Do I want to continue with this alliance? There's a possibility that I do, but I've got to consider that I've got Katie and Grace, two people from my other tribe that I've worked with a couple of times, and I seem to like, so maybe the three of us need to have a talk about what we want to do, because it seems like we've got really two options: work with Paul, work with Owen and Natalie, and I think it's better if we all come to an agreement. Are you going with Chris? Great, I think he wants to join our alliance. Wow, that's impressive. I might have Grace, I'm not quite sure. I mean, like, Paul's been getting in her mind and stuff. Yeah, but like, if we do have Grace and Chris, then we really don't need Katie. Yeah, I think Katie's like really hit or miss. I think she's going to work with Paul anyway, so I really don't see the point in trying to get her on our side. It just seems like a complete waste of time. Yeah, but otherwise, I think we're in a better position than Paul is, because he's going to get all three. All we need is two. Yeah, you're right. I decided to keep things simple for this tribe swap. Just really work on my connections, and that move paid out in spades. We've got Chris on our side, we might have Grace, and all of a sudden, the little plan that people might think is not a really good strategy, it seems to be a pretty good strategy right now. So yeah, I'm in a very comfortable position right now, and you know, maybe Chris has got some allies on that side, so if this alliance duo thing does turn out to go quite far, I've got some numbers on that side I can go with. Are you ready to get to your second immunity challenge as new tribes? Yeah. First things first, Talutu getting your first look at the new Salentu tribe. Sue voted out at last night's tribal council. Alright, for today's challenge, 5 members of each tribe will be lining up on these pedestals as they pass these 2 crates across them. The first crate is the grey crate. It's the lightest, the heaviest being the brown crate. The first tribe to get both their crates over past their 5th member will win immunity, and will send 1 member of the losing tribe to Exile Island. Losers, nothing for you. Tribal council tonight, where somebody will be the 6th person voted out for this game. Alright, Talutu, you've got 1 extra member sending somebody out. Who's it going to be? Grace will be sending out for Talutu. Everyone else will be competing. Survivors ready? Go! Both tribes getting the first crate. Both teams getting their first crate handoff quite well. They are neck and neck. Both tribes getting their crate to their 2nd member. Owen gets the crate. Daryl going really quickly with the crate. Owen getting the crate to Katie and has the crate for Salentu. Salentu are currently in the lead. Katie gets a hold of the crate. Ken's got the crate for Salentu and he's giving it to Dan. Dan's got the crate now for Salentu. Katie passing the crate to Natalie. Dan is done with his team's first chest. Natalie receiving the chest from Katie. Natalie is done with her team's first crate. Carol starting with the brown crate. Salentu have a big lead now. Dan is starting to pass the brown crate to Paul. Chase has got the brown crate and is passing it to Daryl. Paul has the chest now for Talutu. Chase hands it over to Daryl. Paul is now handing it to Owen. Daryl is now handing it to Ken. Ken gets the crate for Salentu. Owen quickly tries to hand the crate to Katie for Talutu. Can Talutu catch up and win? Ken is now handing it over to Dan. Katie is trying to get it to hand it over to Natalie. Talutu has to pick it up if they want to win this challenge. Both Natalie and Dan have the final crate. Dan looks to be a little bit in front. Natalie trying to go as quick as she can. Jeff. But it's too late. Salentu get their final crate across and win immunity. Well done, Salentu, on winning immunity. Before you guys go, you must select 1 member of the Talutu tribe to Exile Island. Who do you pick? We're gonna send Grace. Alright, Grace, you're going to Exile Island. Head out. As for Talutu, I've got nothing else for you guys. Grab your stuff, head back to camp. I'll see you tonight for Tribal Council. Well, I'm back here again. Coming back to Exile sucks. I mean, like, this was my Tribal Council to show how much of a good player I was. Like, I was in the middle. I was kind of leaning towards Natalie. I'm kind of worried to see what actually happens because I don't know where Chris is going. I think I know where Katie's going. So, Chris is in the driver's seat basically tonight. So, I don't really know what Chris is going to do. I predict that someone's already found the idol thingy, but I'm just gonna have a look anyway, I might as well. Last time I really didn't have a really good look around the rice bucket. No, nothing inside. Nothing underneath either. Man, could have sworn maybe the bucket had something to do with it. Maybe someone's already found it. I mean, it's not all too bad. I mean, I'm guaranteed merge, but I really would have liked to make a decision tonight. Well, this was not really a fun stay. Well, this certainly sucks. Yeah, for at least one of us, merge is not guaranteed. I'm disappointed in myself. I did a really selfish thing in today's challenge. In the first round with the crates, I went quite slow, passing the crate to my teammate, as I didn't want to be perceived as a massive physical threat. And I knew it was a bit of a risk, but I thought, well, we've got people like Natalie and Chris. Paul can carry his own weight, and I thought, well, we'll be fine. They've only got Daryl. But I guess I was wrong, and I think I kind of costed us the challenge, so... Well, hopefully people don't perceive me as a threat, but I would have liked to at least have won immunity. Hey man, can I tell you the truth? I just feel like if I don't get this out, it's just the guilt's gonna build up inside me. Yeah man, what is it? Well, I don't want to be perceived as a big physical threat going into the merge, so I kind of went a little bit slower than I could have in the first part of the challenge, and because I felt like you and Natalie could carry the team, and I thought, well, we've probably got this anyway because of all they've got is Daryl. I kind of costed us the challenge. Well, you admitted about it, which I think is a good thing, so I'm fine with that. But anyway, aside from that, what's your plan for tonight? I think it's still Paul, you, me, Natalie, got the numbers, really don't need to put any big pressure on yourself, so we're fine, I guess. Well, that was awkward. I'm a little bit concerned about that because there's like so many different outcomes that could proceed from that little conversation. First of all, Owen's very honest, which could be good, because it means I can trust him and he probably won't lie. But at the same time, as a guy who's devious like me, it doesn't really work, working together. And if I want to do something and I tell him, he might go and put out the plan to somebody else, which could be a bad thing and the reason why I possibly don't vote with him tonight. But on the other hand, since I am looking to play devious and he's kind of like a hero, people might not see me as a bit of a devious thinking player, so I can make my moves and hide behind him as a shield, But at the same time, Grace is not here, and me and Grace were meant to have a bit of a conversation about what we really wanted to do, and we can't have that now. So I need to make the decision for her, and I know she's in an alliance with Kaylee, and well, if I don't want to work with Kaylee, will she find that bad? So there's a lot to think about, and I possibly won't make the right decision tonight, but hopefully I do. Okay, man, Paul, what I need from you right now is why. What would be the benefits for me for working with you and getting rid of Natalie? Well, first of all, Natalie's a dangerous player. I don't know if you guys have figured that out yet. She's very persuasive. She's a bit of a villain at times. And I just think, you've got my best interest at heart. I'm by myself here. I'm on my last little bit of rope. And honestly, if things go sour, I'm just going to stick with you guys, right? Because I'm by myself. So I'm just relatively another number. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Are you sure Natalie's like a villain? Oh, 100%. She's willing to backstab her own alliance members. She threw me under the bus after I voted with her in the first tribal council. Oh, she didn't tell me that. Well, I think Chris, it might be just smart to work with her. Maybe. See, the truth is I'm not a big fan of Chris. I mean, I like him. He's a good enough guy. But, he rubs me wrong because he's a really dangerous player, and that's what I see that. I've got enough brain power, I guess if you can call it that, to understand that he's dangerous. So, but if he is to work with me tonight, then maybe I can change my view on him. But I really don't know. I think it's smart if we get rid of Natalie, and if he doesn't, then You know, it obviously means I can't trust him, which might be good going into the merge, as maybe I can try and rally the votes on him and say that he's untrustworthy, but you know, I really don't want to count on that. So hopefully he does work with me, otherwise I can't really trust him. That's just plain and simple. Well, Chris is going to be in a very comfortable position moving forward. I mean that sarcastically. Obviously I know he's under a lot of pressure. But hopefully he works with me. I know he's going to be a bit of a loose cannon. I see that. But in the end, hopefully it's me with a couple more bullets by my side, not one in my chest. And in the end, I can move forward in this game with alongside the people I've aligned myself with. I think I've given him a good explanation on why he should do it. Hopefully he buys into the trick, and I can move on. Okay, Emily, Lucas, I need your explanation now. What would be the benefit of me working with you? Well, mine is, Paul, he doesn't have any true allies. The thing is, Katie might be working with him, but in truth, Katie's just going to jump ship quite quickly. Paul can't really hang on to many allies. He flips a lot, which I think I've told so many people, and it's true, he flipped twice in the first 2 tribal councils he's attended. I mean, that's just crazy. I guess so. Anything else? Well, if you join our alliance and vote out Paul, you've got me, Owen, Chase, and Carol to work with. That's 4, plus you, that's 5. Maybe Grace, if she's still willing to work with me, whoever she's got. It's a big alliance going into the merge, which numbers early in the game means you're at least going to make it to like final 8, final 9, which, you know, in hindsight isn't first place, but it's definitely better than what you could potentially place. I mean, yeah, makes sense. Well, I really don't know. I have to think about it. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if this wasn't a very difficult move. Yeah. The truth is I don't even know if half the time I'm telling the truth. I don't even know if Paul is connected to Katie at all, if Katie would stick with her, you know. But the thing is that I really hope he flips, because I'm confident I'm staying tonight. I'm confident that he is going to flip, but I don't want to be proved wrong. Like, I want to win this game, and the only person standing in my way right now is Chris. And I think, hopefully, Owen's persuaded him enough to flip, and I am confident that he has, but, you know, there's a little bird on my shoulder saying, maybe you should be worried tonight. But I'm just going to choose to ignore it. I'm fine. I'm staying here I'm staying here to day 39, and I'm winning $1 million. And if Chris votes me tonight, then I guess I'd be proved wrong, but I'm not, so it doesn't really matter. Welcome to Lutu, to Tribal Council. Paul, with the merge approaching, has there been a lot more strategy talk in this vote out? Well, no, not really. There's a lot of strategy talk at literally every tribal council you go to, and that's just the truth. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if what I think's going to happen isn't going to happen, and I think that's just the same all season round. So, Chris, I reckon you probably have a different opinion to that. Is that true? Yeah, definitely have a different opinion to that. You know, maybe there has been a lot more strategy, but, you know, at times like this, there's a lot more strategy going on, because you've got a lot of things to talk about. Who's the smartest? Maybe you don't want to take them to the merge, or who's the strongest, or who do you think you're going to work well with the most? And honestly, with that reply, it might mean that Paul is a little bit confident. You know, man, I'm never confident in this game, but you never know. Kaylee, there's a little bit of arguing going along here, as 2 men have just given a different opinion. What does that say to you? Well, it means a lot. We're going to have an interesting vote, really. That's the bottom line. That's what I think is going to happen. So, hopefully in the end, that what I think is going to happen will happen, and at the end of the day, I can go home to the tribe feeling quite happy. Alright, with that, it is time to vote. Owen, you're up. Natalie, I have nothing but the utmost respect for you. You're a really good player, but in order for me to move forward, you have to be gone. Bye. Paul, Your first flip was good, your second one was rubbish. Maybe you'll look back and figure out how to become a very good Survivor player.
I'll tally the votes. Person with the most votes must leave the tribal council area immediately. I'll read the votes. First vote, Paul. Second vote,
Natalie. That's 1 vote Natalie, 1 vote Paul. Third vote, Natalie. That's 2 votes Natalie, 1 vote Paul, 2 votes left.
fourth vote,
Paul. We are tied, 2 votes Paul, 2 votes Natalie, 1 vote left.
sixth person voted out of Survivor Bermuda.
Paul. Paul, that's 3, that's enough for tonight. I'll need you to bring me your torch. Paul, the tribe has spoken. It's time for you to go. Congratulations on surviving your first night as a new tribe. Well, you've got many more nights out here. The game has barely begun. Grab your torches, head back to camp. Good night. Well, Kristen voted with me, and that is probably the main reason why I'm out.
There was nothing wrong with my game plan or strategy. Chris just didn't vote with me, and I blame him solely for the reason why I am here right now and Natalie isn't. And you can call me sour, but I guess I'm not.
You know, the worst part is I didn't even make it to the merge, but I still survived like over 2 weeks out here, which is just like, I put in all that effort, didn't even make it to the merge, so like, what's even the point?